Welcome to the show, folks. Today we're diving deep into the dark side of sports. We're talking about athletes who got caught cheating, bending the rules, and straight up breaking them. From doping scandals to match fixing, these athletes went from heroes to zeros. So, buckle up, grab your protein shake, and get ready for a wild ride as we count down the top 12 athletes who got caught cheating red-handed. Alright, let's kick things off with Lance Armstrong. This guy was the ultimate American hero, right? 7 Tour de France titles, battling cancer, inspiring millions. But behind the scenes, it was a whole different story. Armstrong was the ringleader of a sophisticated doping program, injecting himself and pressuring teammates to use EPO and blood transfusions. Years of denials, lawsuits, and attacks on anyone who dared to question him. But eventually, the truth came out. The feds were on his case, former teammates started talking, and the evidence was overwhelming. Boom! The dude gets stripped of all 7 Tour de France titles, banned from cycling, sponsors dropped him like a bad habit. It was a spectacular fall from grace. Next up, we've got Ben Johnson. Picture this: the 1988 Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. The 100-meter final, the most prestigious event in track and field. Johnson explodes out of the blocks, leaving everyone in the dust. He crosses the finish line with a world record time of 9.79 seconds. The crowd goes wild, Canada celebrates, he's a national hero. But wait, there's something fishy going on here. 3 days later, the results come back. Johnson tested positive for stanozolol, an anabolic steroid. Just like that, his victory, his record, it all goes up in smoke. Marion Jones, man, she was a beast. She was an absolute force of nature on the track, winning 3 gold medals and 2 bronze at the 2000 Sydney Olympics. But behind the scenes, Jones was involved with Balco, the Bay Area Laboratory Cooperative. This was a notorious lab that was supplying athletes with performance-enhancing drugs. Jones denied it for years, even lying to federal investigators, but the evidence was mounting. She eventually admitted to using steroids throughout her career, and her world came crashing down. She was stripped of all her Olympic medals, served 6 months in prison for perjury, and her reputation was forever tarnished. It's a reminder that even the most celebrated athletes can have dark secrets. Chapter 4. Diego Maradona, the Hand of God and Other Controversies. Diego Maradona, the Argentinian soccer god. This guy was pure magic on the field, one of the greatest to ever do it. But he was also a master of controversy both on and off the field. Let's talk about the Hand of God goal. 1986 World Cup, Argentina versus England. Maradona jumps for a header, but instead, he uses his hand to punch the ball into the net. The ref misses it, the goal stands, and Argentina wins the game. Maradona later claimed it was the Hand of God that scored the goal. It was a blatant cheat, but it became legendary. Chapter 5. Tonya Harding, the whack heard round the world. Tonya Harding, man. Now this is a story that's got it all: figure skating, rivalry, and a brutal attack. It all went down in 1994. Nancy Kerrigan, Harding's biggest rival, was attacked after practice at the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Someone bashed her knee with a baton, trying to take her out of the competition. The investigation led to Harding's ex-husband and her bodyguard, who were involved in the attack. Harding always denied any knowledge of the plot, but she later pleaded guilty to hindering the prosecution. She was banned from figure skating for life. The whole thing was a huge scandal, and it cast a dark cloud over the sport. The story became a media frenzy, and it's still debated today. Chapter 6. A-Rod, the $250 million mistake. Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod, one of the highest-paid baseball players of all time. This guy was a hitting machine, smashing home runs left and right. But his career was plagued by controversy, mostly due to his use of performance-enhancing drugs. In 2014, A-Rod was hit with a 162-game suspension, the longest in MLB history, for his involvement in the biogenesis scandal. Rodriguez denied it at first, but he eventually came clean and admitted to using steroids. It was a huge blow to his reputation and his legacy. He returned to baseball after his suspension, but he was never the same player. Chapter 7. Barry Bonds. Home run king or cheater? Barry Bonds, the all-time home run king. This guy was hitting bombs out of the park like it was nothing, but his legacy is forever tainted by allegations of steroid use. Bonds played during the height of the steroid era in baseball, when PEDs were rampant. He was linked to Balco, the same lab that supplied Marion Jones, and he faced perjury charges for allegedly lying about his steroid use. While he never admitted to knowingly taking steroids, he was found guilty of obstruction of justice. Bond's achievements, including his record-breaking 762 career home runs, will always be overshadowed by the steroid cloud. Chapter 8. Rosie Ruiz, the Marathon Cheat. Rosie Ruiz. Remember this name, folks? She pulled off one of the most brazen cheats in sports history. In 1980, she crossed the finish line first in the women's division of the Boston Marathon, but something was off. Ruiz didn't look tired at all, and other runners said they hadn't seen her on the course. Turns out she hopped out of the crowd and joined the race near the finish line. She was awarded the victory initially, but her story quickly unraveled. Witnesses came forward, and it became clear that she had cheated. 8 days later, she was stripped of her title, and her name became synonymous with cheating in marathons. Chapter 9. Tim Donaghy, the NBA referee who bet on his own games. Tim Donaghy, an NBA referee, man. This guy was supposed to be impartial, calling the game fairly. But instead he was secretly gambling on games, including some that he officiated himself. Donaghy was caught in 2007 when the FBI launched an investigation into his ties to organized crime. He pleaded guilty to 2 federal felony charges and was sentenced to 15 months in prison. It was a huge scandal for the NBA, shaking the league to its core and raising questions about the integrity of the game. Chapter 10. Floyd Landis, a tainted yellow jersey. Floyd Landis, an American cyclist who won the 2006 Tour de France. It was a triumphant moment for him, but it didn't last long. Just days after his victory, Landis tested positive for synthetic testosterone. He denied the allegations at first, claiming that his naturally high testosterone levels were to blame, but the evidence was overwhelming. Landis was stripped of his Tour de France title and he was banned from cycling for 2 years. He eventually admitted to doping in 2010 and confessed to using PEDs throughout his career. Chapter 11. Maria Sharapova, the tennis star's fall from grace. Maria Sharapova, a tennis superstar, known for her powerful ground strokes and fierce competitiveness. But in 2016, her career took a major hit when she tested positive for meldonium at the Australian Open. Meldonium, a heart medication, had recently been added to the banned substances list, and Sharapova claimed she had been taking it for years for medical reasons and was unaware it was now prohibited. She was initially suspended for 2 years, but it was later reduced to 15 months after she appealed. Sharapova returned to tennis in 2017, but she was never quite the same player. Her legacy will always be tarnished by the doping scandal. Chapter 12. Tom Brady, Deflategate, and the Legacy of a Champion. Tom Brady, the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time. He's won more Super Bowls than any other quarterback in NFL history, but even he's not immune to scandal. In 2015, Brady was accused of being involved in a scheme to deflate footballs below the legal limit in the AFC Championship game. The scandal, dubbed Deflategate, became a national obsession. Brady denied any wrongdoing, and the NFL suspended him for 4 games. He challenged the suspension, and it was eventually overturned by a federal judge. But the scandal still cast a shadow over his legacy. Some people believe that Brady cheated and got away with it. Despite the controversy, Brady's on-field accomplishments are undeniable. So there you have it, folks. Our countdown of the top 12 athletes who cheated. From doping scandals to match fixing and everything in between, these athletes risked it all for a shot at glory. Some got away with it for a while, but in the end, they all paid the price. They lost titles, reputations, and the respect of fans worldwide. Thanks for watching our countdown of the top 12 athletes who cheated. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more interesting videos.